Faith is the key to stamping out our fear of the unknown. What do you think that means, Nick?
Well, honestly, I'm not sure. But luckily, Presley Forrest will be speaking to us about the blessing and the curse of the unknown. Paradoxical indeed. Though through personal anecdotes, dashing metaphors, and compelling insights, you, ladies and gentlemen, will need no compass in the quest for truth. Just your ears and your eyes. Please welcome Presley Forrest.
I never grew up religious. I never went to church. I was never asked to pray, and the 25th of December was not Jesus' birth. The opposite could be said of my father's childhood. As a child, he moved around quite frequently. At one point, when he was about 9 years old, he lived in the Bible Belt of America, more specifically, Alabama, a place where there are more churches than restaurants. One day, at an adult party, he was sent to bed early, and being the rebellious 9-year-old he was, he decided to listen in on a crack through the door at the conversation taking place outside of his room. The conversation, fueled by hearty meal and alcohol, dipped its toes into many different topics: politics, humor, family drama, before it eventually fell upon religion. His great aunt, an old, frail woman, recounted a slurred story. To summarize, the story revolved around an incident in which his great aunt just happened to have a conversation with the devil who was sitting on the washing machine, of all places. Slurred be it may, this story would come to frighten my father, and even myself, when it was told to me around the same age. Of course, I can look back upon it now and understand that it was solely an alcohol-induced tale. But when you're younger, these stories can affect us more. Not because our minds are more permeable to fear, but because the line between fiction and reality is not yet clearly drawn. My father feared the devil from the story, not because it was the devil, but due to the vagueness surrounding it. Our uncertainty for the unknown, our uncertainty in our predictions, and our uncertainty in the future all represent the extent that fear has control over it, and the prevalent hindrance it has on our lives. One of the very basic fears we all suffer from is the unknown. In fact, almost each and every one of our fears can be broken down to this very basic idea. It's not as though we control our fear of the unknown. It's an evolutionary survival method that has been ingrained in our DNA. The cavemen's avoidance of dark caves can be translated to our modern-day avoidance of dark alleys. While fear can be our greatest protector, it's also our greatest enemy. Even just the story of the devil on the washing machine hampered my life to a small extent. For a few months, I peered around every corner. I couldn't get up in the middle of the night. I could barely keep my eyes shut in the shower. If this small fear managed to intrude upon my life, what happens to others whose fears control their lives? We as humans along the way have created methods by which to remedy our uncertainties. Religion is what this was born out of. Religion is one of these guidances. And essentially, this is why, for centuries, religion has played such a vital role in history, politics, and our very own lives. The basic backbone that one needs in their life is community. Religion is a community in itself, one of faith, worship, belief in a higher power, and the basic acceptance that we do not retain full control over our lives. The foundation of religion plays on our fundamental fear of the unknown. Death is unknown. Obviously, nobody has come back from the death to tell their tale because death is a state of permanence. To reply to my previous question, many who have allowed fear to control their lives often seek and discover comfort in the idea of religion. What spiritually occurs after we die can never be truly understood, but each religion offers its own specific explanation. It allows us to be comforted by the idea that this life is not all that there is, and that we know will be offered to us in the great future void of unknown. Therefore, we can acknowledge the importance that faith participates in diminishing our uncertainties. Our faith in a God, our faith in friends, our faith in our families. Basic faith is the key to stamping out our uncertainties. When we are alone, each and every failure can push us farther and farther away from achieving our full potentials. But when we have faith, we have a safety net of which to fall into. We have security. When we allow our fear over the unknown to steal its control over our lives, we ultimately become unsure about what it is exactly that we want. This is where depression, unwanted relationships, careers, or get-rich-quick schemes transpire, because we fill our time with anything that gives us clarity. And ultimately, we only end up harming ourselves more. But with faith, you are giving yourself something that you can depend upon, something that you can trust, something or someone that you can turn to. As God says to Isaiah in 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you." One of the important faiths that one can have is faith in themselves, especially faith in one's ideas. Short-term fear can be translated into long-term fear. When I was older, the devil sitting on the washing machine, mocking me for my imagination, became a vivid fear of failure. A fear that I could not control the events of what would happen of each decision I would make. Personally, I've lived in more houses than I can count, and my circumstances at home or the people that I've lived with have changed drastically throughout my 17 years. These differing circumstances have evidently created fears, but they have also created faiths, because the one consistent variable in all of these situations has been myself. When all else is changing around you, the one consistent variable is you. And to have faith in yourself is to push through all of these negative circumstances. For myself, having such high trust in my abilities evidently created failures, but they also created faith within myself to push towards future successes. While they created a fear of garnering close relationships with others, they've also created faith in an eventual positive outcome. This mindset is primarily what allowed me to overcome any negative setbacks I've experienced in my life. A fear of failure is often coupled with a fixation on success, and the idea that if we do not retain full success in all of our ideas, we should simply concede. Once again, a representation of how our panic over the unknown keeps us from making great strides in life. Just as faith in religion can ease our ambivalence towards death or a hazy future, faith in ourselves can ease our aversion to making failures or mistakes. It's not always the most intelligent person who makes it to the top, but the person who has the highest confidence in their abilities and in their ideas. Because these people are willing to take great leaps of faith, even if they come at massive costs. American author Mark Twain noted that 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do rather than the things that you did do. We therefore lose chances of experiences in each leap we choose not to take. Losses or failures ultimately teach us far, far more than our wins. They can illustrate our flaws, our weaknesses, what needs to be improved upon, how to accept our defeats, and how we choose to learn from them. The ultimate truth is while there's not solely one method by which to remedy our uncertainties, faith can brush the leaves from the path, as it provides us with comfort, whether it be spiritual comfort or in the comfort in the shoulder of a close person. And our divergent ways of garnering this faith is also separate for each and every person. Doesn't the unknown also offer allure? If we had a roadmap that detailed everything we did from the day we were born until the day that we die, there would be no exhilaration in the unfolding future, or the gratifying sensation that we are determining our own unique path as we evolve and grow. The entire glamour of life is that we do not know the when, the where, or the how of anything. Instead of allowing our fear over uncertainty to hinder or paralyze us in our tracks, we should allow it to inspire us to future growth and development. Actively holding a firm belief in yourself, in your abilities, and in your achievements and ideas, even in situations where you are solitary, increases your ability to take leaps of faith and increases your ability to overcome any possible setbacks you may experience. As I said, I'm obviously far older than I was when I first heard the story about the devil on the washing machine. My childhood fears have evolved into more adult anxieties. But as life thrusts us in different directions, a little bit of faith will always act as a guiding flame in any cave of uncertainty. Thank you.